beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. It's how we look at things. So appearance could be different in shape, body, color, the different aesthetic sense which comes by seeing the different people, or face, because people have different faces, people have different colors, people have different colors of hairs. So it all depends on how we look at things. But then we have to develop the inner beauty as well as the external beauty. So what we are talking right now is the beauty part of it. Then there is also the wellness part of it. And that is why this sector is known as beauty and wellness. So the wellness is like you do meditation, you do yoga, you have therapy. So you need to use many things in order to keep yourself fit. So people go to gym nowadays for for staying physically fit, and that is why beauty is an overall development of a person. It's not just about looking good, but it's also feeling good. That comes when you are well. You feel well. You should, if you want to feel well, you should stay healthy. So that is why beauty and wellness sector we need to look at in total. Then thermal regulation. So we perspire, we get sweat on our body, helps in cooling our body. So the skin helps in this thermoregulation, regulating the temperature of our body. Absorption. It helps in the absorption of the fluids and all, so that you keep yourself cool. Then excretion. You excrete salt and all other waste material from your body. Formation of vitamin D. So these are all, and that is why we say that you need to sit in the sun for some time, maybe during the weekends. And it's a very common culture in Western countries that they go to the beaches and sit there and they lie under the sun to get with vitamin D. So these are the various functions of the skin that we need to learn about. And that is why we have included in our textbook all this content. Now coming to the session 2, which is on actions of facial, neck and shoulder muscle. Facial muscles are a group of about 20 flat skeletal muscles lying under the skin in the face and the scalp. Muscles of the nose consist of procerus and nassalis muscles. Procerus muscles covers the bridge at the top of the nose between the eyebrows and nassalis. Muscle is a paired muscle of the nose whose function is to compress the nasal cartilages. So the eyebrow muscles. Now why we need to teach about all these kinds of muscles is because when you are doing waxing or threading and all those things in order to improve the beauty of a person, you need to understand the importance of these muscles because they will be stretched. When you are doing therapy, then also you need to understand the importance of these muscles. So because you would be pulling these muscles, you would be pressing these muscles, so you should know about the role of these muscles in various parts of the body. So that is why we have included this in the textbook about the different muscles that are there. So eyebrow muscles, orbicularis oculi and corrugator muscles are located near the eyes. And orbicularis oculi muscles is located in the eyelids and corrugator muscle is located at the medial end of the eyebrow, that is below the frontalis and just above the orbicularis oculi muscles. In case of mouth, where we also have muscles, the mouth has quadratus labile superioris, quadratus labile inferiors, buccinator, caninus, mentalis, orbicular oris, zygomaticus, and triangular muscles. So these are the various muscles which are there in the face, in the mouth and all. So this is, we are teaching just to make our students understand the importance of muscles, understanding the muscles, because when they are doing therapy or waxing or threading, they should be well aware of the importance of these muscles. Now, when we talk of the muscles of the ear consists of three kinds of muscles. And these are auricularis superior, auricularis posterior, auricularis anterior. Auricularis superior muscles is present above the ear, and auricularis posterior muscle is present behind the ear. And auricularis anterior muscle is present in front of the ear. Now coming to the muscles of mastication, the temporalis and mastication muscles coordinate the opening and closing of the mouth. These are also called chewing muscles. In case of muscles of the neck, it consists of platysma, sternocleidomastoid mastoid, latissimus dorsi, and pectoralis, major and minor muscles. So these are very important muscles, and students need to learn about their role and functions in order to provide proper therapy or the treatments, the skin care services that they are supposed to provide. So coming to the body movements, now again, when it comes to therapy, when it comes to exercises, when it comes to training a person, people should understand the role of various body movements and also the various muscles that are present in the body. Now the first one which we are going to discuss here is the flexion, which is defined as the movement meant to decrease the angle between different body parts. Abduction refers to the movement of a body part away from the median plane, that is, taking a limb away from the sagittal plane. Now, coming to the adduction, it refers to a motion that pulls a body part away from the midline of the body. Now, in case of the supine, you might have heard about this word very often when we were talking about the COVID patients. COVID patients were advised to lie down in a prone position, not in the supine position. Now this term has become very popular during this COVID pandemic. So I'm just going to tell you about what is the difference between supine and prone position. So in supine, it refers to a body position wherein a person lies with the face upward, whereas in the prone position, it is a body position in which one lies flat with the chest down and back up. There's another position which is called a dorsiflexion. It refers to turning of the foot or toes upward. And plantar flexion, it refers to the flexion or extension of the foot at the ankle. Now session 3 deals with the skin care. So before we do something related to care of the skin, we should first understand the importance of the skin. So there are different types of skin: normal skin, oily skin, combination skin, sensitive skin, and dry skin. Now we have all experienced, as a person we have all experienced that whether our skin is oily or our skin is dry. Mainly we look at from these two perspectives, that people say my skin is very oily, so a lot of oil comes on my face and all those things. Some people say, no, my skin is very dry, so I need to use a lot of cream, particularly during winters. So that is why we need to understand the types of skin. What are the different types of skin? Then coming to the skin analysis. Now, whenever we are going to provide treatment or care for the skin, we need to first analyze what type of skin is there, what kind of treatment is required in order to provide that kind of care. So all those things one should analyze first. So for this we have given the steps for skin analysis. So step 1 is clean the client's skin. So the assistant beauty therapist needs to clean the client's skin, put eye pad on the client's eye to protect them from bright lights installed in the area. Step 3 is use a magnifying lamp to study the skin type on the face and neck. Step 4 is slightly stretch a small section of the skin using the middle and index fingers. Step 5 is observe the skin texture and size of the pores and other problems using a magnifying glass. Now, what are the different skin care techniques? This is again very important that the assistant beauty therapist should be well aware of, that there are different techniques. So one is cleansing, which is being done usually very regularly. So this is performed to remove all impurities accumulated in the pores, makeup, surface, dirt, and top layer of dead skin cells. This is done very usually because when you go out, particularly in the traffic and all, and when you are coming back home, you feel like, lot of surface dirt is there, your pores are clogged, so you need to clean it with some cleansing milk. So that is why this process is done. Toning, the process involves application of toners and skin fresheners to refresh and cool the skin. Moisturizing, so moisturizer actually forms a thin layer on the skin. It helps preserve the required moisture content. And this is particularly useful for people who stay in the sun for long. So they need to use these moisturizers. So unit 2, which deals with the basic...
Sir?
Yeah.
You are discussing very important points with us, and before we proceed with unit 2, I would just like to inform all our viewers that in this live session we are left by 30 minutes. If you have any of the queries, any questions, your feedbacks and messages, they are invited in the comment section of NCERT official. Yes sir, you may proceed.
Yeah, thank you Simran. So going to the unit 2, which is another very interesting unit, and it's being used by many people. So we are talking about basic depilation services. Now it has another 3 sessions, like session 1 is on waxing, so which deals with methods of hair removal. In this we have talked about shaving, depilatory cream or gel, waxing and laser treatment. So we have actually given an overview of the various methods of hair removal, and in this session we have discussed about the waxing. So before coming to the waxing, we have given the different types of hairs. So scalp hair, eyelashes, body hair, hair in the underarm. Then we have talked about the growth cycle of the hair. So students need to understand about the growth cycle of the hair. So we all know that an average hair grows around 1.25 centimeters in length per month. And a single strand of hair does not grow continuously throughout its life. So the life cycle of the hair consists of 4 stages: anagen, catagen, telogen, and exogen. So we have also discussed about the waxing areas. What are the different waxing areas on our body which we need to apply wax and do the waxing to remove those hairs, unwanted hairs. We have also talked about the precautions to be taken before waxing. So do not apply any lotion or oil the area before waxing. Do not take hot bath or bubble bath. Do not shave hair in the area where waxing is to be performed. Then we have also included the material required. So different materials which would be required before waxing is done. So it includes apron, disposable clothing for the client. This is more important during this COVID times when you are doing waxing. You need to take all precautions like wearing mask, using disposable cloths. Then the disposable sheets also you need to use during this COVID time. Then there are disposable gloves, heating unit, wax, waxing strips, and unperfumed powder, cotton wool, scissors and all. So this whole list has been given in the textbooks for doing the waxing. Then before doing waxing, you need to conduct skin sensitivity tests. So we have given the procedure for conducting the skin sensitivity test. So it talks about selecting a wax, taking into account the client's skin type, heating the wax, then checking for the optimum temperature of the wax. And before applying, you need to just test the skin sensitivity. So all these steps have been included in this session. So you need to also observe for any reactions or allergies. So this needs to be done in somewhere body part where it should not be seen later on. Otherwise, if some reactions happen, then it will be visible. So you should not do it on the face or something, hand and all, but somewhere at the back of the ear or somewhere where if reaction happens, then it should not be very much visible on the client's body. So you need to also record whatever the observation was there. Then the waxing procedure. We have given the waxing procedure. So how to make a client comfortable and relaxed. Choose the appropriate wax and based on the skin type. Then apply the wax. How to remove that wax using, maybe if you are using strips and all that can also be done, or otherwise you use a cloth. Then after doing the waxing or completing the waxing, you can remove the stray hairs with the help of a pair of tweezers. So tweezers can also be used for other purposes, but then in this case, after doing the waxing, if some stray hairs are left, you can remove using the tweezers. Then you need to also give aftercare advice to your clients. So once the waxing is over, you need to tell them what precautions they have to take so that there should not be any reaction later on. So for example, they wash hands and apply an antiseptic cream. Do not use deodorant, perfume or powder. Do not take hot or bubble bath. Do not go to the gym. Avoid swimming, sunbathing or exfoliating. Wear clean, loose cotton clothes. Try to avoid using polyesters and all. So coming to the session 2, which is on threading. So threading is generally done on the forehead, eyebrows, up above the upper lip and chin. And it gives a neat look to the face. And it is, although it is a little bit painful, but then it is, you don't use any chemicals or something like that. So you don't use wax. So that is the advantage of the threading. So we have given the materials required in this. What are the materials that you would be needing to do the threading? So obviously the thread, which should be 24 to 30 inches long, eyebrow brush, scissors, tweezers, and cotton wool, unpurified powder. So we use a cotton or a polyester thread, as I mentioned earlier, around 24 to 30 inches. And the thread is then doubled and twisted. It is then rolled over areas of unwanted hair, plucking the hair at the follicle level. Then we have also included in the textbook about the eyebrow shapes, which is according to the facial structure. So S-shaped, hard angled, soft angled, straight, rounded, all these have been discussed as you can see in the picture. Then shaping thick eyebrows. So how do you shape these thick eyebrows? So you can do eyebrow waxing or eyebrow threading. So we have precisely given all these steps for doing this, and this is also being done practically in the labs which are there in the schools. And students also go for the on-the-job training. So they can go to the beauty parlors or salons, and there they can do all these activities. So these activities are to be arranged by the vocational teacher and the supervisors in the workplace. Now coming to the eyebrow threading steps, we have given all these steps, how to do threading, eyebrow threading steps one by one. As you can see in the picture, this has been included elaborately in the textbooks. Now coming to the eyebrow plucking, this has also been included in this, how you can use a pair of tweezers to pluck out the stranded hairs and all. Then upper lip threading, how the upper lip threading is to be done. So the whole procedure is given, and what should be done to remove the oiliness you need to apply unpurified powder on the area. So then after you do the threading. So these are the various steps which I mentioned that we have given in the textbook regarding upper lip threading. Now coming to the session 3, which is on bleaching. Bleaching, as you know, it gives instant result because whatever hairs are there on the face, if you bleach them, they become brownish and you don't feel like your hairs are very much visible on the face. So it helps to blend fine body hair with the skin tone. So you need to also look at the skin tone before you do the bleaching because it should really work for the client. So you need to also do the skin analysis and then do a patch test before doing the bleaching because there might be some reaction. So it also helps in removing the suntan. So people who generally work in the under the sun, they get suntan and they look for various procedures for improving upon their skin or removing those spots that they get during that once they are under the sun. Now coming to the different types of bleaches, there are powdered bleach, milk bleach, cream bleach, and soft flake bleach. So we have given the difference between all these kinds of bleaches and where they are used. Like for example, milk bleach, it is suited for sensitive skin. It consists of milk powder and ammonia. So this is all being given in the textbook so that students learn systematically on the various procedures for the skin care. Patch test. So we need to do a patch test before we apply the bleach. Bleaching procedure has been given, as I mentioned earlier, that it has been, so all the steps have been given and these are to be practiced by the students regularly in order to become perfect. You start from different stages of training. So these are like the cognitive stage, the practice fixation stage, and the autonomous stage. So when it comes to skill development, students have to undergo all these 3 stages. So they learn about the system, so they learn about the system knowledge, they learn about the procedural knowledge, and they learn about the strategic knowledge. Then they go for the practice. As a famous saying, practice makes a man perfect. So you need to practice a lot in order to become an expert. And that is why you need to meticulously follow all these steps in order to become perfect. Now coming to the unit 3, which is on makeup services. Now in this we have given session 1, which is on preparing for makeup application, where we have given inform the client about the approximate time it will require to complete the procedure, provide aftercare advice to the client, file routine reports and seek customer feedback, thank the customer for post-service feedback. And this is very important. If you want to sustain your clients, you need to also be very grateful to them for coming to your parlor or your salon, and so that they realize the importance of the greeting, about the importance of the feedback, about the importance of the social aspects of it. So that is why we are training students both on the hard skills as well as the soft skills. Now, assessing the client's surface, assessing the client's face, it's very important that we need to assess the color type and the tone of the skin, blemishes, muscle tone, lines and wrinkles, bone structure, facial shape, color and shape of the eyes and lip. Now coming to a very important aspect, that you need to organize the work area. When we enter the parlor or salon or whatever place, any other place, we always look for cleanliness, hygiene, neatness, all these aspects we look. These are all related to the soft skills of it. So we have also given the general guidelines for preparing the work area. So every time before you invite the client to your parlor, you should keep the work area clean and tidy. Use only sterilized tools and equipment. Wash the hands with an antibacterial soap or hand wash before and after the treatment. Never apply makeup over an infected area. This is very important because allergies can happen, rashes can happen, inflation can happen, and thereby client would get annoyed. So it's very important that you should be very careful when you are applying any chemical on the skin or any surface. So dispose of the waste hygienically in a bin. This is another very important aspect, that we need to dispose of the waste properly in different dustbins. Then we have talked about types of makeup brush, face powder blusher brush, eyebrow brush, eyeliner brush, lip filler brush, contour brush, eyeshadow brush. How to do the cleaning makeup tools procedures. So that is also we have given, like cleaning a brush, cleaning a sponge, cleaning a palette, cleaning products while rendering the services. Makeup application, how to do the makeup application. So how to apply foundation. So this is basically applied to achieve a smooth and an even complexion. And foundation must be applied all over the face before the application of other makeup products. You should use the right shaded foundation. You must be knowing about there are different shades of foundations which are available in the markets. So based on the client's skin tone, you have to select that foundation and apply on the face and neck of the client. Then we have talked about different types of foundations, which could be liquid or cream foundation, then sheer foundation, stick foundation, waterproof foundation, foundation primers, shimmer foundation, mouse or whipped foundation, oil-based foundations, a matte or oil-free foundation, powder or compact foundations, tinted moisturizers also. So a lot of foundations are available nowadays in the market. You can see there are a lot of choices for the ladies, as well as now, even men are now going for this kind of, beauty products. So there are a lot of choices available in the market now. So foundation of different skin types, dry skin, for oily skin, normal skin, and sensitive skin. So there are different foundations available for different types of skin. Foundation application. So we have given the stepwise procedure for foundation application. Then we have also given the concealer application, how to apply the concealer to the relevant area using appropriate brush or cotton ball. We have also given about face powder or loose powder application, how to apply that. It's a very specialized skill with regard to application of foundation or face powder. So it requires a lot of practice by a person in order to become a trained assistant beauty therapist or a beauty therapist. We've also talked about the blusher, shader, and highlighter application, eyeshadow application, how to do that. This has all been included in the textbook. The eyeliner application, which is very commonly used during the makeup. So we have given the stepwise procedure for eyeliner application. So for example, use a fine wet brush to apply cake eyeliner. Liquid eyeliner must be applied with a disposable brush. So all these steps have been given in this textbook. Eyebrow and lip pencil application. So what should be done in case of eyebrow pencil application and lip pencil application? Lipstick application. This has also been included in this textbook. So how to apply a lipstick. Unit 4, which talks about creating a workplace impression.
Yeah, so we'll try to make it quick. We are left by the last 10 minutes in this session, and we also have certain questions.
Okay, fine. So session 1 is on building a positive work environment. So how do we build a positive? That's very important. If you want to work in a team, you need to cooperate with others, and that makes a lot of difference. So scheduling an appointment, cleaning the reception area or the service area, interaction with the receptionist or service provider, quality of the service. All these things have to be taken care of. So coming to the reception area, where you need to keep it clean and organized. Fresh flowers have to be neatly arranged, so it gives a very welcoming environment. Then you can keep some of the magazines to keep your client busy, because once they are in and they are waiting for you, they will be waiting for some time, and you need to engage them by providing some magazines and all. So by providing a comfortable environment, so once you have given them a comfortable environment, they would be very happy to be there next time. So it's very important to give a very welcoming ambience in your beauty parlor or wherever, like salon and all. So what are the various aspects that you need to take care of? It's personal hygiene, professional etiquettes, communication. This is again, we have included an aspect of communication in the textbook, so that students learn to know what is effective communication and how they are going to deal with their client in terms of communicating whatever the client wants to understand or know about it. Answering the phone in a salon, building team spirit. So all salon staff must remember and practice the various aspects of a team spirit, which is you have to be very polite and professional at all times. Then personal, session 2 talks about personal grooming, where we have given a lot of information related to personal hygiene and grooming, taking care of the skin, taking care of the hands and feet, makeup, hair care, so oral care. All these aspects they have been covered in this session. Uniform and work accessories. So thank you very much, viewers, for the patient hearing, and I'm sure you have learned about the various aspects of the beauty and also the job which an assistant beauty performs, and what are the expectations of the client. That also has been talked about through this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining about these minute details to all our viewers. Well, I have got a sense of how to be assistant beauty therapist. I hope it does work for our viewers as well. We are still left by around 8 minutes in this session, and we have certain questions. If you allow me, could we take that up?
Yes, yes, Simran, you can do
Sir,
that. Yeah.
particularly when we discuss about this industry that deals with beauty and wellness, there is a popular notion or a perception of people that it has to be mostly women or girls associated with the services being provided and also the ones consuming that. Well, it's not gender specific. What do you say?
Yes, you are very much right that earlier this was the kind of notion that whenever we used to talk about beauty, so it was like, you know, the girls have to be beautiful, the ladies have to be beautiful. And that's why I said beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. It is how we look at the things. Men also need to be handsome, smart, and beautiful also. Now this tag has been added. Earlier, men never used to go for waxing and threading and things like that. But now you will have men parlors or unisex salons and all, where men are also going, boys and men, they are all going to these beauty parlors and salons to look beautiful, because now it's all about presentation, how you present yourself, before others. And it makes a lot of difference and particularly because of this use of social media, Facebook, Twitter and WhatsApp and all those things. So people are putting a lot of photos every day just to showcase themselves. I would say showcase themselves not in that sense that just the beauty of it. But then also people they give you likes when you are presentable. They will give you a lot of likes when you are presentable, and that makes a lot of difference. And that is why this sector has become very popular now, beauty and wellness. The second aspect of it, the wellness part of it, as I mentioned, that whatever cream or whatever foundation you apply, but if you are not well, and if you give a very gloomy face in front of others, even if you have put a lot of foundation over your face, and you don't feel happy, you don't look happy, it's all a waste. So both the things are very important. You need to keep healthy, you need to be well, and you need to look beautiful and presentable. So presentable, it's very important from that point. So irrespective of gender, I would also say that even the third gender, you can see them, how they present themselves. When they are visiting homes, they do a lot of makeup, and they wear saris and all those things. They wear a lot of jewelries, and they should be also given that kind of importance in terms of presentation, and we should recognize them also. So this is very important aspect, which thank you for pointing out this particular aspect.
Yes, sir. Very rightly answered. Thank you so much. Well, we have the second question for you. Earlier, people were not very much aware of the skin type or the skin care techniques, but you just mentioned about them that nowadays people are much aware regarding what is my skin type, what are the products that I need to use. So, do you think it's a good practice looking after one's own skin?
Yes, indeed. You know, we are conducting role plays on that. In fact, during the training programs, I have asked teachers to do a role play on a situation where a lady coming from Dubai goes to a beauty parlor and gets that makeup done and get rashes on her surface, on the skin surface or the face, and comes back to the beauty parlor again saying that you have spoiled my skin. I had to go to a wedding and I cannot go, you have done blunder. Now, how are you going to handle this situation? A client is very much annoyed, and she's saying that she's going to sue you. So how you are going to? So they have come out with innovative ideas of calling a doctor for the treatment, saying that, madam, don't get annoyed, we'll treat you. You will have no expenses on that. We will take care of that. You should get well soon, or whatever rashes. It's not because of our fault, but because you had actually you have put some cream earlier, and because of that this has happened. So there was some cream earlier and this reaction took place, whatever bleach we applied. So as we advise you not to put the cream before you come to this, you didn't listen to us and this has happened, but nevertheless, don't bother. We'll take care of it, and we'll see that before you go to the wedding, you are okay. Now these are the situations that we need to create for the teachers as well as the students, so that they understand the importance of the soft skills. Now these are also the soft skills, how you handle a customer. So very rightly said, Simran, that we need to look on all these aspects of it, not just training on the hard skills, but how to handle a customer, how to talk to a customer, how to greet a customer, how to pacify a customer, how to handle different situations because these are the employability skills. And it comes when you do all these things in the workplace, and that is why we emphasize on the job training and apprenticeship training, because that helps a child to understand the importance of learning employability skills at the workplace.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining it again in a so detailed manner to our viewers. And we are just left by the last 3 minutes in this session. So quickly, I would like to place the last question in front of you, and I would like to have a quick response from your end. Well, one of our students might come up and say that if I want to learn any of these skills, I could go to a salon. I could go to a nearby salon and learn these skills. But at the same time, why is it so important to know the technicalities that run behind it? For example, it's important to know that which are the muscles to be pressed and which are the muscles not to be pressed. where waxing is required and where threading is required. Why is that so important?
Yes. So I'll go back to the other question which you asked regarding that. I mean, if you remember, I mentioned about that she had applied the cream before coming to the. So
yeah.
The advice before the treatment and after the treatment. So as I mentioned in my description of the content, that aftercare advice is also very important. This usually doesn't happen when we are learning through the unorganized sector. Plus, what you talked about, the technicalities of it, that is also very important. So if children learn about science of it, then they will be more cautious in providing the treatment. So it's very important. That is why we say that the vocational education should be built on a strong foundation of general education. We need educated people to learn vocational education. What is happening? 90% of the workforce is in the unorganized sector. And that is why we don't get the kind of services that we expect as a customer or a client. Because they lack soft skills. They might be having hard skills, which they have learned informally, but they lack the soft skills. They lack the knowledge of the science, maths, art. This is also an art. So you need to introduce all these fields, and that is why if you look at National Education Policy 2020, it talks about multidisciplinary teaching learning. It talks about, introducing pre-vocational education from grade 6 to 8, so that students are exposed to all these aspects right in the beginning. So we need to give vocational exposure at the early ages. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mehrotra, for answering all those questions so patiently. Thanks for such an informative session.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the viewers who have connected with this particular session, that is Vocationalization of School Education online series, Meet the Author. Before culminating this particular session, I am just providing you a brief overview of what all we are going to discuss under this series. Today we discussed about beauty and wellness about this sector. Tomorrow we will discuss about private security, unarmed security guard remains a job role. Then on 25th February, we will discuss about the job role, that is consumer energy meter technician, that comes under the sector power. And on 28th February, we will have a word with our experts regarding automotive service technician, which comes under automotive sector. Once again, Dr. Mehrotra, thank you so much for such an informative and detailed session to all our viewers. Thanks to the viewers who have connected with this session of NCERT. Stay connected. We'll be back at 2 p.m. with another live interaction. Namaskar.
Namaskar.